get this.
Just so everybody knows, I've got a meeting that I'm at a hotel in Rochester, so I'll probably just be gone at some point.
Rochester's beautiful. Look at that behind you.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice, right?
Well, what part of Rochester is that? South Central?
Yes.
We'll get a garbage plate,
Yeah.
but this should be fairly quick. Well, let's get her on and going. So first up, let's authorize the payment of the bills.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Next up, privilege of the floor. Once, twice, thrice, and moving on. All right. New business, accept donations for the basketball court improvements.
I can't vote on this because one of them's mine, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't see why not.
You can abstain just because, but
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we accept the donations for the basketball and court improvements with a special thing to thank you to Tim Daly for spearheading that.
absolutely, yes. This is going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
It's not going to let me. It says start video.
Ed, we can hear you
Done
fine.
before. It says failed to start video camera. Please select another.
We can hear you just fine. Okay.
He
Anyway,
can't hear us.
he texted me that he's having a little trouble with his. He says he'll bring his newer computer to camp next time. Okay, so thanks on the basketball courts, Tim. This is going to be great, and I know that there's a lot of people waiting patiently, but with a lot less patient. Yes. So let's get this on and done with. So that brings us to the next one, which is to approve the basketball court opening plan and improvements.
Can we do a recap of the basketball court improvements and opening plan for the peanut gallery so they know?
So I'm looking, Zach.
No, I went over this with Zach. So, Tim, what Zach found was almost the same setup, but this one actually can be locked and it's a hair sturdier. So
Yep.
all four would be adjustable, have the backboards you wanted, the rims, and all of that. And
Perfect.
these are sturdy poles.
And
So,
lockable
if
because,
Yep, these are totally lockable. They would be only by the village. It also has padding around the poles so that nobody gets hurt. So
Perfect.
that's in there. So in this, for the improvements plan, we needed 4 of them, which would be roughly 9,200. They're 2,300 each. And then we actually planned in, since it's going to be new, painting the lines and everything over. So there's some paint and a hand sanitizer station, because you'll see in the opening plan, there's some items, one which is requiring people to use the hand sanitizer. So the cost we're estimating is roughly $10,000. We're budgeting a hair more though, because they also need to do some excavating. Each of the poles has to be 50.
Please select another video camera and setting.
Sorry. Each of the poles has to be 54 inches in the ground, and so the DPW would have to put them in.
Perfect.
good deal.
Thank you for all your help, Tanya.
You're welcome.
This is going to be great.
And let Zach know I said thank you too.
I will. I'm going to text them after. The plan there notes about primarily it would be for shooting, no games right now as of this point, because that's what's opened in other communities, if you guys agree. And then you'll see the guidelines listed, how masks are required if needed. Of course, there's some new rules that just came out, but talks about no loitering, no food, bring your own water. Standard games of basketball are not permitted. No 1-on-1, 2x2, 3x3 right now, but later you can look at that. And
Who's going to monitor that?
we posted up like the other communities on the website. There we'd have a sign. There also would be a disclaimer talking to Bob that he suggested inherent risks in catching COVID-19 or other medical issues. All participants enter at their own risk. And then what happens is, like I was talking to Bob, here and there, they could patrol around and look.
Yeah.
If we see an issue, we lock it down.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't think we need to hire anybody. I think it
No,
can be
no.
self-policed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we should probably put in a little bit for the budget, just for the making of the sign, listing out the rules that we can post at the entrance. I wouldn't recommend that we go too fancy with that because the things are probably going to change. So keeping that on the cheap as much as possible. We're not looking for a long-term sign on that.
Yeah. Yep. There's some you can just buy too that are set up this way, but I'll tell Zach so he works on it. We actually increased the budget to 13.5, but right now we're only at 10 in cost. So the sign will be easy.
Do they have an estimate? Do they have an estimated ship time for those? I know we haven't ordered them yet, but I guess something that we can put a date on the wall so people can kind of stop asking questions about when, because we can say it's going to be about 6 weeks. So start.
Well, Zach can order that tomorrow if it's approved. He was going to, and then let you know. I don't know any of that. However, you can still open the course if you choose the way we're talking without the improvement.
Yep.
And then it would close down when they come in.
Yep. I think we should do that.
I agree.
Tim, thanks for your time, effort, and donation. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
All right, so we need to make a motion to approve the purchases and the sign creation and the plan.
I'm all over that.
I'll second it.
Beautiful.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. My only discussion would be that we don't open it up till we actually have the sign up, posting the rules and stuff. I don't think the sign will take us very long to make.
Nope.
Zach actually even has a standing easel chalk one that he can put up at first, and then till the permanent one can come in if you guys are good with that. Otherwise, I can have him get the other made.
Doesn't matter. The easel chalk thing's fine.
Just, that might be stolen, so I'd rather just go ahead and get the sign as quickly as possible. So,
okay.
I bet Jim Marsh can make a sign pretty fast for us.
I think we can get a good turnaround time.
Yep. Okay.
If you folks don't mind, I'd like to push the bond resolution discussion with Taylor and Jacqueline on the line. Go ahead.
Yep.
Do that real quick.
Yep. Let's do that. Go ahead, guys. You have the floor.
Good evening. Thanks for having us. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So what we initially had planned for tonight was the bond resolution increase, for the sanitary sewer project to include the pump station rehab work. This would increase the bond resolution. The initial one was for 1.73 million, and this would increase it to, 4.4 million. Last Friday, Dan and I had a call with bond counsel and with Kelly Lathan from Fiscal Advisors, just talking through the plan and the project costs. And Kelly Lathan did correct me on the interest terms that I was using. So I want to share my screen if that's okay.
Yep.
1 second here. Is that coming through yet?
Not yet.
You're in.
See it.
Okay. So I do want to just initially apologize for the confusion. Last time we talked, I had mentioned 0% interest rate, and Kelly Lathan had corrected me on that. There was some historical discussion about that. We had just missed out on it a few years back. But what the project previously and moving forward would qualify for is EFC's market rate financing, which currently Kelly had suggested I estimate that at 2.25%. Then EFC has a 30-year loan term. So obviously that changes our costs, our user costs at the end of the day. On the left, you see I have that crossed out, the old column that we previously had discussed, an annual user cost for all the improvements of about $96 per year. Using the 2.25 interest rate, that would increase that to $127 per year. So again, I apologize for my error. I wanted to bring this to the board's attention before we consider that bond resolution that we also have in front of us.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's pretty bad news. I am personally in the, obviously the board votes the way they do, but I am more inclined just to pass on this and wait, knowing that hopefully we'll get a better offer at some point, either more grant funding or the actual 0%, because I just think that that's just going to wind up being more than we really should put on the shoulders of our residents right now. But the board, I'm open to what the board thinks.
This is a bit of a change and a bit of a, make a decision in like 5 minutes on this. I'd like to, I'm not, it's not a small increase.
No, it adds a pretty big chunk to, I mean, it already was going to be a pretty significant increase for our residents, even at 0%. And this, I think, is just going to make it a little too much. But Kevin, Tim, Ed, what do you guys think?
I saw that earlier today, and I was thinking about it quite heavily. And initially, I was thinking maybe we should still do it, but at the same time, you're right; it is going to shoulder a lot of burden on everybody. And I'd be more inclined to kind of wait and see what the infrastructure bill that Biden's trying to pass includes. Maybe there is some 0% with that. You never know.
I have to think with the the infrastructure improvements that they want to do federally, there's going to be a better alternative for us down the road.
If the opportunity exists for a better option, I would wait.
Yeah, given the infrastructure plan coming from the federal government, I can't imagine that we can't find something in there to tag on it. We'd be almost shovel ready because we've done a lot of the work already.
Yeah.
Did we lose Ed?
I think so.
I think he gave up.
Yeah, I guess we lost Ed completely. And I know Taylor said he lost audio. I don't know if he's got audio back yet or not. That might be him calling in for audio. Yeah, so we lost Ed. So
so what do? We table it, vote no?
You can table the resolution and discuss it over the next couple of weeks, and we can bring it back at the next board meeting if you so choose.
Yeah,
I personally feel that's their best option.
Yeah, I'd like to table it.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
All right, yep, the table.
Maybe we could schedule a night in between this meeting and the next one to talk it over a little bit more again and see if there's any more discussion that needs to happen.
Well, I know there's something I wanted to talk about work sessions because we haven't had one, but I don't know if we want to wait for a work session. We may have to have a special work session to discuss this depending upon timing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Pat.
And if you guys did want to host a separate meeting to discuss this further, I'm sure Taylor and I would be interested in joining if you guys wanted us there to talk about it some more.
For sure, you would. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I just lost you guys. I'm calling from my cell phone there.
That's all right.
I missed the whole conversation from the board.
So we're going to table it, and we're going to have like a sort of a work session discussion at some point in the future. But basically to talk it over and wait and see if we think there might be some better financing opportunities down the road a bit.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense. And I would, as Jacqueline just said, love to participate in a work session. There are, some of the financials I think we should talk through just to maximize that grant that we currently have as part of the project. Yeah. I certainly would recommend that, even if we scale back the size of this project.
Yeah, we don't want to leave any of that on the table for sure.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, I think it's a great idea just to take a step back and regroup and see where we should go from there.
Good deal. All right. Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Next up, we're gonna approve budget adjustments. So if you see the budget adjustment, go ahead, Tanya.
Yeah, most of this you'll see pays for the basketball court. And then we had some improvements in the community gardens and for our welcome signs that we were getting the posts for. And then the bus shelter that's coming up. And then what would happen is the rest there's like 2,200 sitting in a contingency fund in case there's leftovers and the rest, and then we can come back and decide what to use it for.
Perfect. We have a motion.
Make a motion, just as Tanya said.
All right.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. Good. Moving on to approve carrying forward prior year encumbrances. All right.
This is done every year. The listing is what's in encumbrances in the general fund, water and sewer funds, and it just carries forward to the budget then on approval.
Looks good to me.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Very good. Let's see. Approve climate smart unpaid internships. What are these freeloaders?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Good. All right. Approve bond principal interest payments due May 3rd, 2021. For debt service. This must still be the fire truck.
So this is for the fire truck and the water tank.
Okay. Yeah.
Each of them have $25,000 principal payments, and then there's interest for the water tank of $75,6250 and the fire truck of $1968.75. You'll see the fire truck is just a couple years away from being paid off.
Thank God. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Or go ahead, Pat.
I'll make the motion that we pay the bond bills.
All right. Tim seconds. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Okay. Okay, here's the internship thing. I went out of order. I apologize, guys. This looks awesome. I'm looking through it now. This looks like some typical Andrew Shaniqua quality work.
Cool.
Hey, one thing I do want to find out is how do we get some more of those signs, because we need a lot of them. And then I also think that Andrew and Shaniko should each get one if they would like one. Anyway, that's a project for another time. Okay, next up. So the bond resolution we tabled. Okay, the bus shelter. Oh, Pat, you're up.
Okay. So as discussed before, the county has a grant for bus shelters, and they're offering us $10,000 for a bus shelter to put towards a bus shelter. Been reaching out to about 4 different companies for different styles that we feel that will be aesthetically pleasing to the village. I think all the trustees got a chance to see the work that the Landmark Society did, that they put forward for the possibilities. Looking at a couple of them from the Columbia Equipment, the price was just exorbitant, starting at 20 to 25K and up to 40K. However, Brasco did have a similar style for much within our price range. It offered up those the 4 different options that we talked about: solar panel, LED lighting, USB port for charging, and had a very similar style to what Columbia Equipment wanted, or had. So that there's a couple different sizes you can see on the sheets for Brasco, 5x10 or 6x12. The location would be right outside the old village office. Walked that with Phil Stockton a couple days ago, and it'll fit in quite nicely. We'll have to trim the trees back just a touch, but as he said, those trees need to be trimmed anyways. So there's 2 really different styles. One is the reverse gable, and the other one's I guess more traditional looking. And we've got at least 1 quote for each of the styles. I'm waiting back to hear from Columbia Equipment and Handy Hut for 2 more quotes on the style. So we'll at least we've got 3 quotes. We're looking to get a couple more. But as it is right now, with the county offering up to $10,000 for, if we chipped in an additional $5,000, we can probably get everything that we want. So I guess that's what, after you guys look through some of these, once I get those last 2 quotes, I don't think it's going to change too much. But if we authorize up to $5,000, we can leverage that with the county's $10,000, we can get everything we want. There is a little bit of a time on this, unfortunately. The county's not sure how much they had to hold on to this for a while. There's not sure how much longer before the sunset kicks in. But as it is right now, I think we have at least 1 style that really fits all the blocks that we're looking for, which is the Brasco reverse gable. I think it looks sharp. I think it matches the aesthetics. And if everybody's got a chance to go through that, I would say that we authorize that pending the last 2 quotes. If we don't get those last 2 quotes, say before the end of the week, I say we pull the trigger.
Okay.
I'm all in on that, Pat. I've seen some of the paperwork and the time and effort you put it on this. We pretty much narrowed it down to 1 choice, but I guess all we need to do is pick a color.
Yeah, that was the other thing. And I put this out to you. So they have 2 different styles. They have anodized aluminum and powder coating. Now the powder coating would give us a wider range of color styles, but the anodized would be tougher, would have a longer lasting solution, I guess.
Lifespan.
Yeah, essentially. So I can, and the powder coating, when I was talking to Brasco, would be slightly more expensive, which I was kind of surprised because I was looking at some other websites and generally they say the anodized is more expensive. But I'm not sure if we have the pictures on the slide deck
It
here.
makes sense to go with the anodized one because it's less, they have to spend less time messing with it.
Yeah, if we go the anodized like a
Maintenance free.
yeah, it's like a anodized bronze. And I guess the only choice, if we go with the anodized bronze versus the powder coated green, then the powder coated green would be more expensive, but the anodized bronze I think looks okay, and it would, like Kevin said, it would be tougher. But that's definitely open for discussion because I'm not an expert on anodization or powder coating.
Meaning powder sounds wimpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think go ahead. I think we should just go ahead and authorize the 5,000. I think Pat's on it, and he's almost got this thing nailed down, and I trust him to pick the right one. So
I agree.
got a motion?
Motion.
Kevin seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Great job, Pat.
Thanks, and I'll keep everybody informed as we progress on how it's coming along.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, approve credit and water sewer account for A0660 as it is vacant. And a motion on that?
Making a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Unanimous. All right. That wraps it up. Comments from board members. We'll start with whoever wants to go first.
I'll start because I'm probably going to take off right after this.
Sure.
Just wanted to say thank you guys for everything with with the basketball court situation. I think this is going to be great. I've had several people reach out to me over the weekend. When are we going to open? So I'm thankfully going to be able to say now we will be doing it very soon. My next project, I think I'd like to work on in the future will coincide with basketball. Depending on how bad the surface is, that'll probably be the next one. I'll see if we can't figure out how to get it resurfaced.
Good.
Just keep improving our parks and improving our community. I think this is awesome.
At some point, I would really love to explore putting in a skateboard park
Absolutely.
in the village.
Yep.
So I think that would be a really good thing. So we'll do that after the basketball courts. But thank you very much, Tim, for all your work on this.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
Guys. My pleasure. Hey, good night, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye,
Tim. All right, Kevin or Pat, any comments?
I'll go ahead. We've been busy lately with the 2 board meetings a month, but I would like to see if we could get back to having a work session with somewhere where we can have candid discussions and really dig kind of deeper, because we've got a couple of different things. One, we've got the sewer project, which is kind of a monkey wrench.
Right.
But 2, we also have the cannabis change in the laws. And I think that's something we need to get ahead of and start educating ourselves so we don't get overcome by this, because, part of this right now, all right, how do we treat it? You can't have an open alcohol container going down the street, but can you be smoking right down the street? So I think, and we've got, our schools right here in the village and the impacts on the kids, and the impacts on how not everybody enjoys the smell of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get it. Well, yeah. So we might talk about just banning smoking in any public areas in general, right? So that would be cigarette and cannabis.
Yeah. And then
and also, Pat, how does that affect our employees?
Well, for our CDL drivers, it affects them because you can't smoke and have a CDL license.
That's true.
And
normal employees, you can't. Boy, I have to look at. I just did a webinar on it too.
It's still illegal federally. If we get any federal grants, we wouldn't be able to get them if anybody
Yeah.
using marijuana. And like Pat said, the CDL. I've through my chief's organization, I'm trying to get see if anybody's adopted any local laws on this yet. So if I get that, I'll be sure to forward it to you guys.
And Chief, if there's anything that your department is going to need, for alcohol, you have a breathalyzer test. What do you do for THC?
Right now, there's nothing out there. They're trying to come up with something. This was passed before. I won't get into that, but it was. Oh, that's my puppy. It was passed before we could catch up with the technology. But I know the state police. I just got an email from them the other day that they have something where they could test the levels, but for on the side of the road, it's just going to be our observations, really.
Yeah, and that's special training that you guys are going to have for that too, right?
Yeah, and to go to that training, the drug recognition expert training, it's pretty in depth, and it's a selection process. It's not everybody can go to it. We're fortunate. We do have one officer in the department that is a DRE certified. Jen Olin, who's the undersheriff of Tompkins County, she works for us part time, and she's also a DRE expert. So, but she's willing to come in to run the test because they need so many tests per year too.
The technology will catch up. I mean, it's going to be legal in almost in the majority of states soon, and the entire country of Canada is legal. So, people will step in with the technology, and we'll get something that's for better testing soon enough.
So unfortunately, it's what they're lacing it with. It's not the marijuana of 20, 30 years ago. So,
well, that's why when you buy it from from a dispensary, it'll be tested and everything. That's the whole point.
It's you buy fruit punch, and you get it home, you spike it with something, right?
Well,
so they're gonna lace it. They're gonna lace it.
You can do
I didn't mean to get into the whole conversation right now because it's pretty in depth. But that's why I just wanted to point out that I think we need to have a work session where we can start getting educated on this, because I want us to be proactive and setting things forward instead of having things pushed on us.
Yeah, exactly. I told you what I saw the day after Easter. So, I mean, might as well start getting ahead of it, and we'll, talk with some other local municipalities that already have a law. Because I know Union Springs, they were looking at getting one where you can't sell it in the village limits.
Yeah, so I'm not. We're not going to do anything like that. That's insanity. Because if we do that, we cut off the ability to raise a substantial amount of money, because there is a local match of the sales tax. So it's 4%, and then 1% of that goes to the county, and 3% would go to the village if we had one, and that's an incredible amount of money. Lower our taxes. The thing is, if we say, okay, no, you can't have it in the village, they'll go 75 feet north of me and build it in the town, and then it's the same. What's the difference? It's just we don't get any of the revenue. So I've been working on this issue for a couple of years now out of Albany, so I'm pretty well versed. Yeah. So, and I know, there are counties, Long Island, that they want to opt out, and the towns, they're going to opt out. But you opt out of selling it, it doesn't mean that people can't use it there. They can, walk across the line and get it in Cortlandville or town of Homer or the city of Cortland and come back, and all we did was lose out on the revenue.
There you go.
So, all right, Kevin, what do you got?
I don't have a lot to say, but I do have a lot of different things going on as far as the Route 281 project. I've been talking with Paul Powers from the Legion about the possibility of getting us some flags. Talking with Phil about flower pots, and talking with Ty about getting the possibility of doing a sculpture somewhere in the village. So
Nice.
a lot of things going on. I
Good.
should have more information at the next board meeting.
Perfect. Excellent. And I don't have anything. Dante, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything either.
Very good. Don, you have any questions?
No questions.
Very good. I don't think we need to go to executive session that I know of. Do we?
Shouldn't have to.
All right, then. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.